Success is never given. It is trained into your daily actions. That single truth can change the way you look at your life. Too many people wait for the big break, the perfect moment, or a lucky chance, but real progress doesn't work that way. It's built in the way you think, the way you act, and the habits you practice long before the results show up. Ask yourself, what would happen if you started showing up today as the person you want to become tomorrow? What if you carried yourself with discipline, confidence, and focus even before anyone else believed in you? Human psychology is clear. When you repeat the actions of success, your mind begins to accept them as reality, and slowly, the outside world matches your inner standard. In the next chapters, you'll learn how to shape your daily choices so deeply that success is no longer temporary, it becomes who you are. Chapter 1. Act organized every day until success feels natural. Friend, success is not something that shows up out of nowhere. It is built step by step, and one of the most overlooked steps is organization. When you act organized every day, you begin to take control of your life, instead of your life controlling you. Success may look complicated from a distance, but when you break it down, it is simply the result of small daily choices, repeated with intention. Organization is the structure that gives you room to grow, room to think, room to move forward without being trapped by chaos. Think about how you feel when your environment is messy, when your plans are unclear and your priorities are scattered. The human mind becomes heavy, cluttered, and distracted. You start forgetting important things. You move from one thing to another without finishing what you started. And at the end of the day, you are exhausted, not because you worked hard, but because you worked without order. That is the cost of disorganization. It steals your focus, your energy, and your confidence. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine walking into a space where everything is in place. Your tasks are written down, your calendar is clear, and you know exactly what needs to be done. The mental weight is gone. You feel lighter, you breathe easier. Your mind is free to focus on the work itself instead of the chaos around it. That is the gift of acting organized. Even before you feel naturally organized, you can choose to act like it. And by acting organized every single day, you train your mind and body to live in order until success feels like the natural result. Organization is not just about neat desks and color-coded files. It is about clarity of thought, clarity of purpose, and clarity of direction. When you are organized, you no longer waste energy searching for lost papers, lost time, or lost opportunities. You create a system that works for you instead of working against you. The first step is simple. Decide what matters most in your life and write it down. Don't keep it in your head. The mind is for creating ideas, not for storing endless lists. Use a notebook, a planner, or even a simple sheet of paper. When you act organized in this way, you send a signal to yourself that your life matters, that your goals matter, that your time matters. When I talk about acting organized, I'm not just talking about physical spaces or schedules. I'm also talking about your thoughts, your conversations, your relationships. A successful person organizes not only their work, but also their energy. They choose carefully what to focus on and what to let go of. They know when to say yes and when to say no. Acting organized means creating order in the way you spend your hours, but also in the way you manage your emotions. If you wake up frustrated, disorganized in your thoughts, and chaotic in your feelings, your day will spiral out of control. But if you wake up and take time to plan, to prepare, and to organize your state of mind, your day will unfold with clarity. Every morning is a new chance to act organized. Begin with small, simple actions. Make your bed, clean up your desk, write down 3 important tasks for the day. These little acts may not seem powerful, but they build a foundation. The brain begins to see order, and the emotions begin to feel calm. When you act organized in small ways, it becomes easier to handle the big challenges that come later in the day. The truth is, people often wait to feel successful before they act like it. But the law of life says the opposite. You must act first. If you want to feel natural at success, begin by acting as though success already demands order from you. Organization teaches discipline. Discipline teaches focus, and focus builds results. When you have results, you begin to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, your confidence grows. All of this starts with the decision to act organized every single day. Success becomes natural because your mind is no longer distracted by noise. It is free to create, to solve, to build. Now, here is something important. Disorganization is not only about things outside of you, it can also be inside of you. Think about the times when your thoughts run in 10 directions, when you worry about tomorrow while trying to finish today, when you regret yesterday while planning for next week. That mental disorganization destroys focus. Acting organized in this case means training your mind to bring order to your thoughts. Write down your worries, write down your plans, and separate what you can control from what you cannot. When you do this, the mind becomes free to work on what matters. This is not about being perfect. It is about creating enough order for progress to take place. People who act organized attract trust. If you show up on time, if you keep your promises, if you prepare before you speak, others notice. They feel your reliability. They feel your seriousness. This is how opportunities come your way. Nobody wants to give responsibility to someone who is always late, always scattered, always forgetting. But people love to work with someone who has order, who respects time, and who respects others. Acting organized builds a reputation of dependability, and reputation opens doors that talent alone cannot. Some people think success is about waiting for the right break, but it is often about creating the right impression. When you act organized, you show the world that you are ready, that you can be trusted with bigger things. It might start with something simple like keeping your workspace neat, returning calls on time, or preparing for a meeting the night before. These small acts of organization signal to others that you are serious. Over time, they begin to see you as successful, even before you see yourself that way. And once others treat you as successful, your own mind begins to believe it too. There will be days when you do not feel like being organized. Your energy may be low, your mind may be tired, but those are the days that matter the most. Because acting organized when you don't feel like it builds the strongest discipline. That is when you prove to yourself that you are in charge, not your mood, not your laziness, not your excuses. Success is not built on how we feel in the moment. It is built on the choices we make despite the moment. So, what does it really mean to act organized every day? It means you decide in advance what matters. It means you place things where they belong. It means you plan your day instead of drifting through it. It means you prepare before opportunities arrive. It means you live with intention, not reaction. These are simple acts, but their effect is enormous. They create order. And order gives birth to confidence. Confidence creates consistency, and consistency produces success. One of the best rewards of acting organized is peace of mind. When you know where things are, when you know what needs to be done, when you know you are prepared, stress decreases, anxiety fades. Instead of worrying, you start working. Instead of being distracted, you start producing. This peace of mind is not only good for your results, but it is also good for your health. A disorganized life creates stress. Stress destroys energy. And without energy, success is impossible. Acting organized gives you the energy to keep moving. Over time, something powerful happens. What began as acting organized becomes living organized. It becomes natural. You no longer have to force yourself to plan, to prepare, to put things in order. It becomes who you are. And once that happens, success flows more easily. You no longer fight against yourself. Your mind and your actions are aligned. That is the true reward of acting successful until you become successful. You train your mind and body until the act becomes reality. Now the question is, will you choose to act organized today? Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Because every day you delay, you strengthen the habit of disorganization. But every day you choose order, you strengthen the habit of success. Habits are built one action at a time, and habits build destiny. Act organized every day until success feels natural. Begin with small steps. Stay consistent. Over time, you will notice that what once felt like effort now feels like ease. What once felt like acting now feels like being. That is the journey of transformation. That is how you create the life you want. Success will not feel strange anymore. It will feel like the only way to live. Chapter 2. Act confident in public until people believe in you. Confidence is one of the greatest tools a person can carry in life. It shapes the way people see you, the way they respond to you, and even the way opportunities find their way into your life. When you step into public spaces, whether it's a meeting, a classroom, a stage, or even a conversation with strangers, your confidence speaks before your words ever do. Acting confident in public is not about pretending to be someone you're not. It is about showing the best version of yourself until others believe it, and, more importantly, until you begin to believe it too. The truth is, most people wait for confidence to appear naturally before they put themselves forward. They say to themselves, "When I feel confident, I'll take the risk. I'll speak up. I'll show who I really am." But that is a mistake. Waiting for confidence is like waiting for a door to open without ever turning the handle. Confidence comes from action. If you act confident, even when you don't fully feel it, you begin to train your mind and body to see yourself as capable. People respond to that energy, and their response reinforces your belief. This is how acting confident in public slowly becomes real confidence. Think about how humans are wired. We often make judgments in the first few seconds of seeing someone. People notice posture, eye contact, tone of voice and presence before they hear your ideas or know your character. If you walk into a room looking uncertain, with your head down, mumbling your words, people may assume you are unprepared or unsure of yourself, even if you are full of knowledge and ability. But if you walk into that same room standing tall, looking people in the eye, speaking clearly, and acting like you belong, people automatically assume you are someone to be respected. That's the psychology of first impressions. Acting confident changes the way the world perceives you before you've proven anything. This doesn't mean arrogance. Arrogance pushes people away. Confidence attracts them. The difference is that true confidence is grounded in calm, clarity, and self-respect. Acting confident in public means carrying yourself with dignity, even when your heart is beating fast and your hands are trembling. Everyone has nerves, everyone feels doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they choose to act in those moments. Do they act small, or do they act confident? The first step is physical. The body sends signals to the mind, and the mind responds. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin up, breathe deeply, look around the room with steady eyes. These simple physical actions change your inner state. When your body acts confident, your mind begins to follow. If you walk into public spaces with strength in your posture, people see confidence before you even speak. And when they treat you as confident, you begin to feel it more strongly yourself. The second step is in your voice. Speak clearly. Speak slowly enough that your words carry weight. When you rush, you reveal nerves. When you pause, you show control. A confident voice is not always loud, but it is steady. Practice speaking in a way that others can hear every word. Even if you feel unsure, acting confident with your voice convinces people that you know what you're saying. Over time, their belief feeds your own. The third step is in your preparation. Confidence in public does not come only from appearance, it comes from being ready. If you are about to give a presentation, prepare your material. If you are about to enter a conversation, know the key points you want to make. If you are walking into an interview, review your strengths in advance. Acting confident is easier when you know you've done the work. Even if doubt is whispering, your preparation gives you the right to stand tall. Confidence also grows through exposure. The more you place yourself in public situations, the stronger you become. Every time you act confident in front of others, you build another layer of belief. Think of it like training a muscle. The first time you may feel awkward, stiff, or unnatural. The second time, it becomes easier. The 10th time, it begins to feel normal. By the 100th time, it becomes part of who you are. This is how acting confident in public turns into real confidence that no longer needs effort. Now, there is another layer of psychology at work. People treat you according to the signals you give them. If you act insecure, they may not take you seriously. If you act confident, they often assume you are capable and valuable. This response from others shapes your identity. Humans learn through feedback. When people respond positively to your confidence, your brain begins to record it as proof that you belong. The act becomes belief. But confidence is not only about how others see you. It is also about how you see yourself when you walk away. Every time you act confident in public, even if you feel nervous inside, you leave with the memory that you stood tall, that you spoke up, that you didn't back down. These memories build your inner library of strength. The next time, you can look back and remind yourself, I've done it before, I can do it again. That self-reference is powerful. It builds resilience. Another important point is authenticity. Acting confident does not mean pretending to know everything. It means showing up with assurance even when you admit you don't have all the answers. People respect honesty more than perfection. A person who says, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll find out, with confidence gains more trust than someone who tries to fake knowledge. Confidence is about trustworthiness, not flawless performance. For many people, fear of judgment holds them back. They imagine others are criticizing, mocking, or waiting for them to fail. But the truth is, most people are not thinking about you as much as you imagine. They are too busy thinking about themselves. Realizing this frees you to act confident without worrying about every thought in the room. The more you practice, the more you see that judgment is not as dangerous as your mind makes it. What matters is the impression of strength, not the perfection of delivery. You can build confidence by focusing outward instead of inward. When you walk into a room, instead of thinking, how do I look? What if I fail? What if they reject me? Shift the focus to, how can I add value here? How can I make people feel comfortable? How can I contribute something useful? This shift turns the spotlight from your insecurity to your purpose. Acting confident in public is easier when you are not obsessed with yourself, but with what you can give. People respond positively to someone who is present, attentive, and generous with their attention. Consistency matters. One act of confidence is not enough to change your identity. Daily practice makes it real. Start small. Ask a question in a group. Share your opinion in a meeting. Introduce yourself to someone new. Speak up when you usually stay silent. Each small act of public confidence chips away at fear and builds your strength. Eventually, the fear becomes quiet, and the habit of confidence becomes louder. And here is something most people don't realize. People believe what they see more than what they hear. You can say you're confident, but if your actions show insecurity, they will not believe you. On the other hand, if you act confident through posture, tone, preparation, and consistency, people will believe in you even before you fully believe in yourself. Over time, their belief becomes a mirror. You look into it, and you begin to see the confident person you've been acting as all along. That is when the act has become reality. Confidence is not about never feeling nervous. Everyone feels nervous. Confidence is about moving forward despite nerves, showing the world your best self, and refusing to shrink in public spaces. By acting confident until people believe in you, you create a new identity, one built on courage, preparation, and consistent action. The process is not instant. It takes practice. But the rewards are enormous. People begin to trust you, respect you, and open doors for you. Most importantly, you begin to trust yourself. Every person has moments of doubt, but doubt should not control your actions. Choose to act confident even when you feel uncertain. Over time, uncertainty will fade, and strength will remain. Act confident in public until people believe in you, and then let their belief fuel your own. Soon, you will discover that you are not acting anymore. You are confident, you are capable, and you are ready for every opportunity that comes your way.
Chapter 3. Act disciplined with time until results start showing. Time is the most valuable resource you will ever have, and discipline is the way you protect it. Everyone gets the same 24 hours in a day, but what makes the difference between an average life and a successful life is how those hours are used. Success does not arrive by chance. It arrives because someone took control of their time instead of letting time control them. Acting disciplined with your time is not about being perfect or strict in a way that makes life joyless. It is about making sure every day counts for something meaningful. When you look back at your life, the results you see will always reflect how you used your time. If you spend hours distracted, your results will show that. If you invest hours learning, practicing, working and building, your results will reflect that too. The discipline of time is the bridge between what you dream of and what you actually achieve. Acting disciplined with your time every single day creates patterns of progress that eventually lead to visible results. The first part of acting disciplined with time is awareness. Many people do not realize how much of their day is wasted on things that do not matter. Hours disappear into scrolling, television, meaningless conversations, or activities that have no long-term value. The person who wants success cannot allow time to leak away like that. Discipline begins with paying attention. Where is your time going? What are you spending it on? The truth may surprise you. The smallest leaks create the biggest losses over months and years. Awareness is the first step toward discipline. Once you know where your time is going, the next step is to set clear priorities. Discipline is not about doing everything. Discipline is about doing the right things. A disciplined person knows what matters most and puts energy there. Without priorities, your time will be pulled in 100 directions, and you will feel busy but not productive. Acting disciplined means deciding what tasks truly move your life forward and refusing to waste energy on distractions. When you begin practicing discipline with time, the results may not appear immediately. That is why so many people give up. They think, "I've been disciplined for a week, but nothing has changed." But time discipline is like planting seeds. You don't see the tree overnight, but you trust that every day of care will eventually produce something real. This is why you must act disciplined long before the results show. Success always comes later, but discipline comes first. Another part of acting disciplined with time is building routines. When your day is structured, you waste less energy deciding what to do next. People who lack routine often drift. They let emotions decide their schedule. They wake up late, wonder what to do, get distracted, and before they know it, the day is gone. But someone with a routine acts differently. They wake up with a plan. They know what task comes first, what task follows, and what must be finished before the day ends. Routines create stability. Stability creates progress. A common mistake is thinking that time discipline means cutting out all relaxation or fun. That is not true. Discipline is about balance. You schedule rest the same way you schedule work. You give time to recovery so that your energy